herb.
It's the healing of
The herb. It's
the
for the
nation.
healing. It's
I
leaves
heard
are
it.
for the healing of the
It's the
nation.
healing of the nation.
Yes.
It's good for the human consumption.
Yes.
When you tell it,
Hey, I'm Max Montrose, and a dear friend of mine died just recently. Bunny Wailer. I never told my story, my really unbelievable, incredible story of not only meeting him, buying a pound of ganja for him before I made it to his compound and spent an evening with him in his home. Learned the story of how Chris Blackwell took Bob Marley away from Bunny and Peter Tosh. Why? How? I'm going to share this story with you right now to honor Bunny Wailer. I don't know what else to do. I'm actually kind of sad that he died. I only knew him for a short period of time and tried to check in with him from time to time. And he really touched my heart. So I'm going to tell you this story. Years ago, some random group of filmmakers sent me a one-line email. I'd never met them before. Just a friend of a friend told them about me, and they just said, hey, are you the weed expert? And I just emailed back, yes. And they emailed me back and said, great, here's your ticket to Jamaica, be there on Monday. I have no idea who these people were. I didn't know why they wanted me in Jamaica. I had no idea I was going to meet Bunny Wailer or fight the Jamaican government on behalf of the Rastafarian elders, or that I would be staying at a mansion and smoking with Grace Jones and just all the other unbelievable stuff that happened. So I went. I went to Jamaica on this whim. And when I got there, I met Maxine, who's the woman OG of the Rastafarian elders.
You don't have sex, you don't do this, you don't do that, because why? Because you're Rasta. You understand what I'm saying?
And she took me aside and asked me who I was by feeling my heart to see if I was legit or not. And after she determined I was, our mission was to go meet up with Bunny Wailer. And you can't go to Bunny's house without bringing him a pound of weed, which we bought in Trenchtown in Jamaica. Not the Jamaican resort that many of you might have been to, but, you know, a little bit more of a rougher area where Bunny still lives, or did live. And let's just say this pound buying experience was interesting and for me sketchy at best. And it also, a pound of bush ganja costs $60. So I brought this pound of weed to Bunny Wailer, and I mean, I was so just uneducated about bush ganja that I didn't even know how to break it up.
Easy to get in?
Alright, so something sharper than
Yeah, I mean, you cut it like.
These guys had to like teach me how you grind bush ganja with a knife, you know?
What do you say, Ganja Man?
Yeah, everything is everything. Give thanks and praise to the most highly high, Selassie, for us having high grade.
That's great.
Bunny was just way too cool. He let me sit in his throne of his office. He took me around his office and he showed me the original contracts that he had with Bob Marley. And
Three hands representing the three Wailers. And this is where they robbed us, or attempting to rob us, by changing this and putting just the image of Robert Marley.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a big robbery going on with the Wailers.
Really?
It's the original company, Tough Gang Limited, with all three of them are equal shareholders. And they started another company called Tough Gang International.
and Tough Gong Records, and they were the Wailers. That's who they were. And as the story goes, and as I learned, Chris Blackwell, who I also met up with in Jamaica, same trip, on a few different occasions, is actually a pretty cool guy. He's pretty nice. But he, in the 60s, 70s, he wanted to bring Rastafari music and culture to the West. Is this just new thing? Rasta music. I mean, it's just an incredible story. But what a lot of people don't know is Bunny Wailer and Peter Tosh are legitimate religious Rastafarians. And they did not like seeing hippie women in the West with their shirts off, on LSD, dancing around. That was something new for them that also wasn't too kosher. And simultaneously, what Chris Blackwell was analyzing was they're hard to understand. I mean, these are native Jamaicans, and Bob Marley is half white, half black. Easier to understand, and culturally maybe was more accepted, maybe based on how he sounded and also the color of his skin. And those are the reasons why Chris Blackwell separated them, broke them apart. But what people don't know is they took all their music. Like, all the music that you listen to that's Bob Marley is really the Wailers. It's Bunny's music. Peter Tosh. But they didn't get the contract. In fact, they had the contract with Bob, but Chris Blackwell broke it. And that's why you can see Bob Marley's, kids today are wealthy beyond belief, because every hoodie you buy, every song you download, all of that infrastructure goes to the Bob Marley family and label, not to the original guys still in Trenchtown who made the music, the true legends. I have no idea why someone hasn't made the documentary about how and why Bob Marley isn't real. Obviously, Bob Marley's real. But the backstory of his music, who wrote it, even who wrote the songs originally, wasn't really 100% Bob Marley, who got all the credit for it. And anyways, I was in Jamaica for a week. I stayed at this mansion that flew me down for this film project that never happened. And it was magical because I got to see both sides of Jamaica. I got to spend time in Trenchtown with Bunny at his house. And I just so happened to be at this mansion in Jamaica when Bunny Wailer and Chris Blackwell were there for the first time, I think in 40, 50 years. They haven't spoken a word to each other since Chris Blackwell screwed Bunny Wailer. And I got to witness these two men chatting with each other privately by the ocean, and just kind of meeting with each other for the first time in half a century. That was incredible just in and of itself. Even more incredible was Bunny and his attitude to accept Chris Blackwell enough to shake his hand and hug him and smile and take pictures with him. And I'm hanging out with Grace Jones on the beach watching this. And when the two men came back from their chat, they wanted a picture with each other. And Grace Jones jumped in the photograph because she's like, this is an epic moment. I'm not going to not be in this picture. And I'm the most out of place person in the world to have just been there at that moment. But I said, screw it. If this picture is happening, I'm jumping in too. And so I have a picture of me and Grace Jones and Bunny Wailer and Chris Blackwell at the moment when they met each other up for the first time in half a century. And that's just crazy. I have many more stories obviously related to this trip and experience, but just to kind of keep this short and also focus on Bunny, who this video is about and for. After all the mansion bullshit and all of that, they, days later, they took me to one of the Rastafarian temples deep in the jungle. And it's hard to put words to what I experienced there. We really appreciated each other. Big time. We really bonded over ganja, and my knowledge base on how and why African slaves on a desert island who were taken there to farm sugarcane, why their symbol is the same symbol as my religion. Rastafarians and Jews both have the Mogen David, the Star of David. We both have the Lion of Judah. And it's because of the descendants of Haile Selassie, of Jah Rastafari, the last emperor of Ethiopia, who is a direct descendant of King Solomon. And a lot of people don't know that the lost tribe of the Israelites went into Ethiopia on purpose to hide the Ark of the Covenant. And you can dig into that more if you dig into the Ark of the Covenant and Graham Hancock and all of that kind of research. But we bonded over us being brothers, and they took me to this holy river in the back of the temple and had me take my clothes off. And I don't know what to call it a baptism, but they blessed me in the holy river of the Tabernacle behind their temple in the jungle with a 10-inch spliff in my hand. And it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. It really was. And I'll never forget when Bunny, in the moonlight, just hugged me really softly and whispered in my ear, Rastafari. Just the way he said it from the bottom of his heart. He put it into my heart. And it made me really love that man. I wish people knew more about Bunny Wailer and his story and how hard the Jamaican people have fought for their rights. Get up, stand up, fight for your rights. Just to be who they are. They are an amazing people and they deserve everything. And I was honored that I could help them in the tiniest way that I have. And if there's anything I can do for them and their community, I'm definitely at their service. No question. So, rest in love, Bunny Wailer. I will miss you. Thank you for everything that you taught me.
Do you always smoke out of a carrot?
Always.
You've always smoked out of a carrot?
Always. I take my carrot with me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When he tours, everybody has to have a carrot ready when he lands. Along with the
Yeah.
high grade.
This is
Come,
amazing.
come, King Selassie is
Show me.
See that?
Yeah.
That is about us, about one love. Yeah, you know? This is the Solomonic. This is my Grammy, one of my Grammy Awards.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's my son and one of my sons, and my daughter, one of my daughters. They're all over the place. That's me. Yeah. Playing football, you know, House of Dread.
I love your throne.